Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Phay, and welcome back to the channel. I tried to come up with a joke about measuring distance. This was as close as I can get. Today, we're taking a look at Sniper Elite, the board game from Rebellion Unplugged. Sniper Elite, the board game from Rebellion Unplugged, is a 1 to 4 player game where one person is going to play as the sniper in this hidden movement game. Now, what he has to do is he's going to have a couple objectives that he has to meet in order to win the game. Meanwhile, the other players, 2 to 3, are going to be playing the German soldiers. They're going to have an officer and a couple guards, and they are trying to stop the sniper from completing his mission. Will they be successful in doing it? No one knows until the end of the game. But how do you play? So let me explain how to play the game, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So to play the game, the first thing you need to do is you need to set up the map. Now there's two sides of the board in the basic game. One side's a little easier than the other, and it's kind of more, it's going to help you out on learning and stuff like that because it doesn't have the elevations and everything else. But you set up the map, and what you're going to do is you're going to put, of the 3 different German squads, you're going to put the officer on their starting spot, and then you're going to put his 2 soldiers on their starting spot. One player is going to play the sniper, and he's going to have his deck of cards that are going to have his objectives. Shuffle them up, grab 2 at random, and that's the 2 spots that he has to try to go on the board, and that's where he has to try to get to complete his job. He's also going to have some loadout cards, in which case he's going to shuffle that up. He's going to grab 3 at random, and that's going to be his starting ones. And he can get more throughout the game if he can go to the different objective spots and do a search action there. All right. At this point, you're pretty much ready to play the game. Okay, setup is simple and its setup is fast. So to play the game, the first thing that's going to happen is at the beginning of the round, the sniper player is going to take their turn. Now they have a board, and this is where they're going to track all their movements. They're going to start on one of the 4 spots on the board. Okay, so you can either be black, was it red, yellow, and I think white. Okay, they're going to start on one of those, and they're going to move on. Now, on their turn, they can do several different things. They can move, which means they can move. They can move 1 to 3 or 0 to 1 space, and if they do that, that's considered to be a silent move. All right. They don't have to notify anybody that they've moved or anything else. Now, if they move 2 to 3 spaces, if they end their movement adjacent to a German officer or a German soldier, or they started adjacent to one of those, they have to notify those people that they had heard something. They don't have to say where it came from. They just have to notify them so they know that the sniper was in their area. The next thing they can do is they can shoot. All right. If you want to shoot, then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be drawing discs from a bag. And you get to determine how many of those you want to draw. Now, there's good things and bad things. If you draw the bullseyes, you have to have a number of those equal to the number of spaces between you and the soldier plus his space. So if he's 2 spaces away, you need to have 2 successes to win and to take him out. Okay, which would remove him from the board if you are successful. If you draw I think it's 3 noise counters. Then, of course, you're going to have to reveal your location. And then there's some suppression cubes that can go, or cubes, there's some suppression discs that can go in there as well that can do various things. But theoretically, that's basically what it is. You're trying to draw enough tokens out of there in order to take out the guard and not have bad things happen. All right. The next thing you do is you can complete an objective. If you are in your space, you can just reveal your objective card. That notifies everybody where you are. And then you can go from there. All right. You're going to be revealed at that point in time. So if you do your objective last in your turn, well, then that's where you're going to be. But if you do your objective first, well, then you can move off and you're not necessarily in that same space. And the last thing you can do is loot. If you're in one of the objective spaces, not the one that you have your 2 objectives on, though, you can actually do a loot, which means you drop another loot card and you play that. Now, the nice thing about the sniper is on his turn, he can do the one action, he can use one loadout card, and he can also move. He can do all three of those things on his turn, but he doesn't have to do all three. All right. Now, when he does his move, he's going to actually, or even if he stays where he's at, he's going to take his board and he's going to put a little notation of where he is, and he's going to write the number based on what turn order it is. Now, there's 10 rounds in the game, and he has to complete his first objective by the end of the 10th round. Once he completes that objective, then you take all the German cubes and you're going to move him back up to the 10 spot. Now he has 10 more rounds to complete the objective. So technically, there's theoretically 20 rounds total in this game if he waits till the very end to do them all done. But once he's done, it's the Germans' turn. Now, the defenders, all right, what they're going to be able to do is they have 2 different cubes, and they're on that round track, okay? And they can use those cubes in any order they want. But each cube that they slide down, they're going to activate one of their either officers or one of their soldiers, okay? And there's different things that they can actually do. So they can move. They can move up to 2 spaces. They can do an attack action, but it has to be in their space. All right, and they can declare, hey, I'm doing attack in this space. If the sniper's there, the sniper takes a point of damage. If the sniper ever takes 2 points of damage, the game over and the defenders will win. They can do a spot check, which means they can do a spot for an adjacent space, and they can add a noise token to the shot bag if they are successful, okay, or a spot. They can do a sweep, which means they can look at their spot and 2 adjacent spots. And if the sniper is in any one of those spaces, the sniper just declares that, yes, I am in one of those spaces. They can deploy a soldier that's been removed from the board, and they can put him back onto the board, and he is deployed adjacent to the officer. So wherever the officer is, but the officer, I believe, has to also be in his area. So every one of the officers is going to, and soldiers also have a colored base that designates their area. The officer has to be inside of his own personal area for that to happen. You can deploy an officer to his starting space if he happens to be removed from the board. And the other thing is you can dismiss. So if you know that like the sniper is probably on one corner of the board and you've got a soldier that's on the far other corner of the board, you can dismiss that soldier and then redeploy him back into his own space. But once you deploy a soldier, then he can no longer take any more actions that turn. And this is going to go back and forth until one of 2 things happens. Either one, the sniper completes both of his objectives, or the defenders happen to do 2 points of damage to the sniper and take him out so that he can't, in which case the defenders would win. And that is how you play. Okay, folks, that was just a really quick overview on how to actually play this game. I know there's a lot of really good videos on how to play, and they're just actual step by step and just give you all the details and everything you need. I just kind of wanted to give you just a short, brief overview on how it's played, and hopefully some of the pictures that I've put up kind of give you that idea as well. The biggest thing here that I want to talk about is I want to talk about this game, because I'll tell you what, I have been listening to Cody from the Discriminating Gamer talk about this game for a couple years now, and he has just said this is his favorite hidden movement game, or one of his favorite hidden movement games. And I really need to play it, and I really need to play it, and I really need to play it, but we've just never got it to the table. Now, this game is designed by David Thompson, which is one of my favorite designers, but it's also designed by, and I hope I get this name right, Roger Tankersley. Now, Roger Tankersley, he's also done Resist and Witchcraft, which are both great games as well. So the 2 of those guys working together, I'll tell you what, they put together a phenomenal game, because this is a great game. I absolutely love this for a hidden movement game. It is super fun. When you're playing as the sniper, I mean, you have your loadout cards, and you have to try to figure out how you're going to be able to utilize those to your maximum ability. How are you going to be able to move and try to sneak around to get from objective 1 to objective 2, or even from your starting spot to the first objective, and still try to get everything done within the number of turns. Because the nice thing is, for the defenders, is once you complete that first objective, they now know where you're at. So they're all just going to massively try to swarm that, and they're going to try to figure out where your next objective is. Now, the cool thing is you only ever have one objective in each zone. So if you have an objective in your red zone, you know the second objective is not there. So it actually takes a quarter of the map and totally eliminates it from where you could potentially be, which is very helpful for the defender. So it makes getting that second objective that much harder. But some of the stuff, some of those loadout cards that the sniper has, I mean, he's got what? He's got the distraction, so he can throw with the rock. So basically, he can just take one of the soldiers. He can move in a couple spaces. One of my favorite cards is the sound marker one, where he can actually do his 2 to 3 movement space, and even if he ends next to um, a defender or starts next to a defender, he doesn't have to notify him of noise because the sound masking, which is actually really super tough. The mine's really cool. If you know the soldiers are going to be coming down a little tight corridor or something like that, you can help take them out. Just there's some really, really, really good stuff there. And the fun thing that I really like about playing the sniper is I love setting everything up. I know what I'm trying to do, but then I like listening to the conversation that the other people have on the other side of the table. I like listening to their strategies and try to figure out what they're doing, where they're going to go, and then work around that. If you pay attention, I can give you some really good ideas on how you're going to be able to get to your next objective, and on how you can potentially throw them off, which is just a lot of fun. Okay, it's absolutely enjoyable. I myself personally, I love hidden movement games. I seem to be always the guy that's playing the one verse. I'm not usually the guy that's on the other side. Luckily, when I got the chance to play this one here, I played it with Mike and Chris. I got to play both sides. We played both boards, and it was actually a really good, enjoyable game. I wish Cody would have been there to play it. He just wasn't able to show up on this particular time, but I will play this game with Cody at some point. Now, that's one of the things I think about the game. Phenomenal game. But the one thing about this game, I wish there was a little bit more. I know there's expansions to this game, yes, but I only have the core game, and I have been hearing so much about this. I know they had a Game Found campaign that come up. I missed that because I hadn't played the game yet, but I always wanted to. But I did see, this went on sale a while back, so I had to buy it, and I knew that was going to force me to play this game, and I'm glad I did. But playing this, just the base game, I kind of wish there was a little bit more. There's 6 loadout cards you can get in. I wish there was maybe a few more in there. Just some more variety of stuff. There's still a lot of game here because you have 10 or 12 different objectives for each side of the board. You never know which 2 they're going to be. So how you move around the map is always going to be totally different. The loadout cards you do draw is going to change a little bit, but there's not a ton of variety. Okay, there's just, like I said, there's just a 6 in there. Personally, I wish there was more. I do believe there's some expansions that are going to add more stuff. I know they're going to add more boards and everything else. And at this point in time, I'm probably going to be looking at trying to get those. I would love to get those and try them out. I know the new expansion that they did the Game Found campaign for earlier this year. That looked phenomenal. I'm going to have to look into getting that as well. So I definitely have all this stuff on my radar to complete my collection of this one. And this box needs to get a lot fuller because I'll tell you what, I really like this game. I've played some other games in the past. I played Spectre Ops. I played, and then there's Scotland Yard and some of those others. And they're fun. I really enjoy playing those. But I'll tell you, this one's really good. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I love the boards that comes with. The components are super high quality. The figures look amazing in this game. Really fun game. I wish I would have played this one sooner. I know it's been out for a few years. I wish I would have played it sooner. But I'll tell you what, I am so glad I finally got this game. And I'm so glad I finally got this game to the table. Now all I got to do is I just got to get the rest. I'm pretty sure this is one that I need to complete. I'm going to have to get all of it. I got to complete my collection of this one. And this is one that I'm going to be keeping in my collection for a very long time. So if you like hidden movement games, if you like that one verse many, this is a really good one. Now, one thing I will say about that I did leave off is I played this as a 3-player game. Now, as a 3-player game, the 2 people on the other side, each one of them is going to take on a squad of their own, and there's that third squad is kind of they're going to work together on. I haven't played this as a 4-player game, but I can see this game being its best and shining the most as a 4-player game. You have 3 different people. Each one of them has their own squad, and they're trying to figure out what they can do. Absolutely phenomenal. So absolutely really love it. One of the other things, and I think I forgot to mention this, that the defenders can do is on their turn, they're using their cubes to declare. So that basically 2 different soldiers can take an action that turn. Or one soldier can take 2 different actions, but he can't do the same action twice. But one of the things I forgot to mention, and this is actually a really powerful thing, is on your turn, if you want, you can spend both your cubes, all right, as long as your officer is in his area. So say you're using the red team, he can use both of those cubes, and he can just literally ask the sniper, are you in the red zone? And if he is, great. If he's not, 2 too bad. You can avoid that. Now, it can backfire on you. I think one of the games we played, we actually tried that. The sniper went first, and we're like, hey, we had all three of the squads declare, are you in this zone? Are you in this zone? Are you in this zone? And we found out, okay, which zone he was in. But the problem is we were thinking that he came through the wrong starting spot. He actually came through like the black starting spot and moved into the red, where we thought he stayed in the red and was in there. So yeah, he totally got around us and fooled us. So sometimes our strategies work, sometimes they don't. But I can see where as a full 4-player game, that's where this game is going to totally shine. But honestly, I think this would be fun still as a 2-player game, because you're just going to have one person that's going to play all three of those squads, and he's just going to have to intermix how they're all going to go. But super great game. I'm rambling at this point. If you like hidden movement games and like sneaking around, you like one versus many, I'll tell you what, this is one you do not want to miss. This is a phenomenal game, and I cannot wait to play this again, and I cannot wait until I can finally get the rest of the expansions for this game and complete my collection of Sniper Elite. Well, thank you once again for joining me today. As always, I please ask you like this video on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on Facebook, and also on X. And please leave me a comment on any one of those platforms, and I'll get to those comments just as soon as I can. And if you enjoy the content I provide here, I humbly ask you to go ahead and click that subscription button, join my little family, and also click that bell and be notified when I drop new videos. And also, if you like the videos that I post here on my channel, I also do post on the Discriminating Gamers channel as well. I'll do unboxings, I'll do reviews, and I'll do some playthroughs over on Cody's channel as well. There'll be a link to his channel in the details down below. You know, when my wife was in labor, I thought I would try to make her happy by telling jokes. She didn't laugh once. It was the delivery.